Sapphire Spider Oracle channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. And of course, if this is a return visit for you, thank you so much for returning. Today, I have just a little pick-a-pile for everyone. This is specifically geared for receiving messages from your ancestors and loved ones. Ancestors and loved ones. So that's specifically the messages we are channeling today. We have Pile 1 with this really nice red Jasper, great for the root chakra. We have Pile 2 with this Carnelian, great for the sacral chakra. We have Pile 3 with the Citrine, good for solar plexus. And then we have Onyx, which is great for the heart chakra. So choose your pile either by number, Pile 1, Pile 2, Pile 3, Pile 4, or by crystal choice, and the timestamps are below. I'll be right back with the rest of the messages. Hello, Pile 1. If you chose this pile, you either attached to the number 1 or you were drawn in by the red Jasper crystal that we have here. So let's get started and see what's coming out in your pile. I've got 3 different sets of cards here. So first things first, we have your spirit animal card, and what's really funny is right on the back of this card, there's like this poor little ant that has been squished here. And I don't even remember when or how that might have happened. So that's just coming out the bat. And I know some people might be like, what? Like, what does that have to do with anything? But it means everything, right? So there is like poor little squished ant there. On the word against. So the monkey is the ancient deity worshipped by Middle Eastern peoples. It's a really nice card. In the Hindu Ramayana, a monkey hero named Hanuman helps rescue Sita, the god Vishnu's queen, who had been abducted by a demon. Hanuman was made invincible by Brahma, the grandfather and creator, and possesses the skill and agility to leap across the heavens. He leads a monkey army against the demon and rescues Sita, for which he is granted everlasting life. This painting of a monkey recalls the power of Hanuman and his dominion over the heavens. So, rescue monkey is what we got here. It just kind of, I literally just heard it in my head. It was kind of like, it just gave me like a Boo from Aladdin, how he's totally Aladdin's sidekick, and definitely a hero in that case, right? Like he can totally be mischievous, which is typical monkey energy, but he's very much a guardian and helps come to the rescue several times, right? So that is your spirit animal coming through, the spirit energy that wants to come and help you through the season. And let's just see what your cards are. So I have our main cards here out of the Wildwood Tarot, and then I have 2 from the Rider-Waite to kind of help clarify here at the end. So for your first card, we have the 8 of Arrows. 8 of Arrows, which is struggle. It just said you're on the right path. You're on the right path. It's kind of giving me the message that if it feels like it's difficult or it's hard to do, then you're on the right path. Which, there's some old adages coming up here, right? Like if it's worth doing, hang on, let me just sit here for a second. Kind of like the whole thing of like taking the high road. If it's worth doing right, or if it ain't worth doing right, don't do it at all kind of deal. Like all these little phrases like that. And so the phrase that's most coming through right now is just saying like you're on the right path. Like if it was an easy path, wow. Okay, yeah, it just gave me the whole thing of like, back in my day, I walked uphill to school both ways in the snow, like that. So there's definitely like a grandparent or just a, you know, an older ancestor kind of coming through to say, yeah, like you're probably definitely feeling this energy, this 8 of Arrows, 8 of Swords energy, feeling kind of mentally trapped. Or if you're not feeling mentally trapped, then you're feeling like you're just like really struggling on this path. It's cold, it's hard, you're alone. There's just a little bitty lantern to light your way, and that's where your ancestors are kind of like simultaneously comforting you and giving you the message of kind of like buck up, because it's like, I walked uphill both ways in the snow, right? Interesting energy. Ooh, followed by the 9 of arrows though, and oh, that was nice. It was kind of implying that this is the figure of the ancestor who is watching over this figure right here. And look at the striking difference in the environments, right? It's very much kind of giving me this implication of like earth. And then like on the other side of the veil, like kind of heaven, the way that the trees are mirroring and arching here. So that's what I mean. It's like, it just also said kind of like your higher self. So between ancestor energy and your higher self, it's like definitely there are energies watching over you, watching you on this trail. And where you see all of these, oh wow, Spirit, that's so cool. It was, okay. It was basically saying, which this is a new interpretation coming through for this card. It was pretty much saying that your ancestors are sending off these arrows right here, okay? That they're flying off these arrows, flying off communication and messages at you. They're very dedicated to communicating with you. They're always communicating with you. And then it shows me these arrows over here. Some of them are kind of broken. Some of them did make it, and where usually they're depicted in this card is like the broken arrows that didn't hit the target. It's kind of like, look at all the spirit messages around you. It's like they've been sending messages to you, and it's like some of them you ain't catching and some of them you are. And so that's where it's like kind of keep your eyes open, because they're definitely watching you and they're definitely sending off messages. This card is about dedication. This is not only a progression from an 8 to a 9 of arrows, so that's very good progress, which they're wanting to tell you that too. It's like, it just kind of gave me the line from, oh God, Santa Claus is coming to town, when like the little claymation Christmas movies, and it's like, put one foot in front of the other, like that song. And that's what I mean. It's like you're in the blizzard, you're in the thick of it right now. Your ancestors are watching over you for sure, sending you spirit messages all the time. Some of them are making it and you're catching, some of them you kind of miss, but that's okay. They're saying that's okay because you're down here on earth doing your thing, kind of deal. And they're like, that's the thing, is like they know you're not going to catch every single spirit communication coming through. So it's also implied like you're worried about that, like you have been calling out for their guidance, and you're simultaneously looking for their guidance and sometimes missing it, and that stresses you out because then you feel like you should be catching it all. And that's where it's kind of like, that's so much mental swords energy and like anxiety. And look at her, she's chill. It really did just want to cuss. I wanted to just say like chill as fuck. So like, it's like chill. Your ancestors are chilling. Your ancestors are playing this communication game like so easily. She's not even paying attention to where the arrows are going because she doesn't have to. She has like quantum physics connection, telepathic connection, spirit connection to you, and is sending off all these messages. And it's you who are down here, and it's like, don't beat yourself up if you ain't catching every single little tiny communication that's supposed to come through. That's normal. You're human, right? So that's an interesting message coming through. What else? This King of Stones. King of Stones. Her arrows, or your ancestors' arrows, are pointing mostly in the direction of this King of Stones too. So it's like, that's also the guidepost. So it's kind of like implying like if you just turn the corner, like there's a spiritual guidepost kind of waiting to point the way for you, show you the way. What are we heading towards? This King of Stones. For some of you, this is a person. For some of you, this is yourself. For some of you, this is simply the concept of mastering the physical realm, such as money, home. Territory is especially represented by this wolf, who knows his territory very well. As the leader of the pack, will go ahead like, you know, ahead of his pack to lead the way and check out stuff, but will also turn around and come back to make sure they are taken care of. So kind of that lone wolf energy, kind of a fatherly, taking care of people energy. Definitely very solid, right? A wolf knows their territory. A wolf knows their place kind of deal. And a wolf will howl at the moon to let everybody know. So that's kind of like, it's like you're building up to some very solid foundations. And it's either in regards to, like, it just said like moving in with someone. So for some of you guys, there's something about like moving in with someone, or just establishing your territory in general. Like some of you guys, this is like a man or a masculine energy, right? A very strong energy in your life that you're trying to kind of move towards. And I think you're making slow but steady progress. And your ancestors are watching this. It's also implying that this person howling at the moon kind of thing, it's like they're sending off a signal too to get you through all of this wilderness too. So there's something here. And that's where it's also, it wants to say, like, you know, if you're not feeling the relationship vibe off this reading, then this is about like some part of you, like your inner wolf, right? Your inner alpha is like calling to you, and you're like trying to upgrade yourself. Like you really trying. It's just, it's kind of hard, right? Especially with all this mental energy. So it's like, I feel very much like you're kind of beating yourself up along the way, but you are making progress, and Spirit's like, please stop beating yourself up. Like, look at where you're heading. And again, if this is another person, it's like, look at them. They're managing their territory. They're howling at the moon, and you're still trekking, kind of trying to make your way there, right? What's this last card? Ooh. I want you to notice the difference between all these archers, right? Well, she don't have her bow, right? So no bow, little bitty bow, big ass bow. The long bow. This is the archer. This is very much the Chariot card, and that's what I mean. It's like victory, progress, pushing forward. And in this deck, it's very much about intense focus, just knowing that when you fire this arrow off, you're going to get what you want, that you're going to hit the target. These are like her spirit dogs, her spirit guides that help point the way too. And that's where it's just like this overall resoluteness of knowing your spirit team's backing you up, knowing that the universe is backing you up, knowing that you can get what you want and get what you deserve. And it just gave me a new song by Banks, and it's called Give Me. Well, not even Give Me, it's called Gimme. And it's what it just kind of gave me, the chorus. It said, gimme what I want, what I deserve, gimme you. And that's what I mean. For some of you guys, this is a relationship. And notice how the wolf is over here and then there's dogs over here. It can very much be implied that, right, a similar dog energy, that dog-like figure joins your side, right? Joins your energy, helps you lead the way, that kind of deal. There's very much an interesting progression. And look how it goes. And ooh, it just said like hot and cold, like cold, hot, cold, hot. We got snow, and then we got this green coming through. It's like, it's kind of giving me the implication of like how the snows melt and then there's spring and we see all the green. For some of you guys, it's kind of mentioning how it's like you'll have to get through the winter and go to a spring before you maybe really see how this progress is laying out. But it just said hot damn. Like, that's weird. This is a weird little pile. It's just said hot damn. Like, that's what I mean. It's like it's like you've been seeing this goal for a really long time, and you've been trying to like really get it down, like get the target. And what it just gave me was like I could put this card here and then slide it over and then just like keep doing this kind of deal. So that's what I mean. It's like you're trying to shoot down this energy. You've been trying to shoot down that energy. That's why you're kind of sick of the cycle you're sitting in, because you've been trudging here a long time. That's why your ancestors are like, we got it. You're doing everything right. So stop thinking about it. Stop worrying about it. Stop going around in your own mental cycle. We got you. You're headed here. Whether this is just you being stable and being your own little alpha person, and yes, who we got it, spirit team backing you up so that you can be like this Katniss Everdeen kind of deal over here. It also just implied that spirit's going to hand you this bow, like, okay, spirit got a bow, now you get to have the bow, right? So like a gift is implied, and I would say very much so, because here we go with that chariot, and that's victory, and that's like totally conquest, moving forward, getting what you want, sweet victory, right? She's about to shoot something, she's going to shoot that target, she's going to get what she wants. Whew. See what these other ones are. I want to kind of clarify that and clarify that. 10 of Pentacles. Look at that. 8, 9, 10. That is some progress. And that's what I mean. That's what you've been working on. 10 of Pentacles. This King of Stones, that's a Pentacle card. So that's what I mean. It's like you're simultaneously completing a cycle in the air element, which is the arrows, the swords, and that is therefore producing real life results, which is the pentacle. And that's what it's trying to tell you. That's why you're still here on this cycle, because what this particular cycle is doing as you trek along is getting your mind in place so that once that is all set, the real world aligns and you see the evidence of what you've been trying to work on this whole time, okay? 10 of Pentacles, completion, full happiness. Look, there's them dogs again, right? So that's what I mean. You are working very much on getting things together in the physical world. And then what's clarifying this over here? Look at that double King of Pentacles. That's what I'm saying. What are you aiming for? That for sure. For sure. And if this is not a person, then this is you, and it is coming out super duper duper strong. Your masculine energy, your real world physical, getting paid and eating steak in the shade kind of energy is going to be just like bam. And let's not forget, pile one, that you had this red jasper as your crystal, and this little bit of red flashing out here is kind of implying, it just said like your bloodline. So this is definitely like an ancestor from your bloodline. But it's also this one, I mean, this is root chakra, totally pentacles, totally earth energy. Yes, like this is grounding yourself and really getting focused. So, woo. This double King of Pentacles over here is ridiculous. It also just said like these two are backing her up. Like these dogs are the King of Pentacles. Like, I'm just saying. It's a good vibe in here, pile one. Really beautiful cards. So I think that this is just you beating yourself up and like getting all up in your headspace, and your ancestors are here the whole time saying chill. And meanwhile, you've been singing kind of that song like, give me what I want, give me what I deserve, give me you, whether that's your inner you or some other person or a job, whatever, with these pentacles. And it's like you've been working on that the whole time. You might not see it or realize it, but you've been working on that the whole time. And it's definitely these double kings that's going to manifest. It just said king me. It just was, that's what I'm saying. It just said like checkers, how like you have to put a second piece on top of the checker to make it a king. That's what it just did. It was like king me. It's beautiful, pile one. That's what I got for you. Let me know how it resonates. I'll see you guys later. Thank you. Hello, pile 2. Hope you're doing wonderful. If you chose this pile, it is for this lovely little Carnelian, which I have another one over here. Really great for the sacral chakra. Nice orange color, very warm, it just said very loving, very nurturing. It just said very motherly. So for some of you guys, kind of got some like divine feminine energy coming in, which doesn't surprise me. So the reason why it doesn't surprise me is because you have this dove. Animal spirit card. So we'll get to your tarot in just a second. For the dove symbolism, it is sexuality, peace, and divine inspiration. The dove has long been associated with female sexuality and maternity. Boom, what did I say? Early pagans considered the dove a symbol of the female sex organs, and Christian faiths in which the dove is primarily a symbol of peace and divine inspiration linked the dove to sexual reproduction. Although Christ was born of a virgin, he was conceived by the Holy Spirit, which is represented by a dove. In Greek mythology, Aphrodite, the goddess of love, was born from an egg nurtured by a dove. How interesting. This reminds me so much of like the color of egg yolks and the way that these little stripes and bands are in here. But the sacral chakra, this orange color, is especially about your womb space, or your, you know, your reproductive organs. That's the energy center we're talking about. So here we go. This has got a lot to do with some healing and nurturing, and there's some divine feminine energy in the room for you, pile 2. So let's see what's going on. What's the message from your ancestors coming through? I do feel like for some of y'all, it's a mom. For some of y'all, it's probably like a grandma. That general energy, man, the right side of my head just started aching. Not like bad, just I felt it. There's a pressure in the right side of my head. 10 of Wands. Okay, listen up, pile 2, and listen good. There's a particular energy that I read for when I read for pile 2 because of certain associations that I personally make with the number 2. And if you're the kind of person that's been around watching all of my pickup piles and you happen to pick pile 2 a lot, then I'm sure you kind of noticed this 10 of Wands, this 10 of Bows coming out. It wants to tell you, it's telling me, but it's telling you that there was a reading I did a few weeks ago that I did not publish that involved this particular card, and it involved a card out of this animal deck. Wow, Spirit. Okay. All right, Spirit. All right, Spirit. Hang on a second, pile 2. It's got a treat for you. It's got a treat for you. Give me 1 second. It wants me to find the card. Here. Here it is. I'm not going to go in like, man, it wants me to not even say anything because it wants me to just talk to you. Do you see the way that this 10 of Wands right here echoes this bear paw? There was a reading I did a few weeks ago, and I didn't publish it because I honestly just kind of got a little busy, but also it was a very emotional reading for the pile that had these 2 cards together. Like very emotional. And it was talking about berserkers, like historically in like Viking history and stuff. It was talking about berserkers, and there were 3 berserker tribes. One was a wolf, one was a bear, and one was a boar. And at the time that I did that reading, there was a lot of bear symbolism around me. And there's actually like a little bear sketch I have up on pinned to my wall that someone gave me, a little girl gave me. And what's so funny about this card is it mentions how it's a girl wearing the bear skin and she's a healer. So anyway, it brings up the berserker bear paw as a symbol. So it brought up berserkers as warriors, and it was talking about how they psych themselves up into the state, the berserker state, before they go out to battle. And it's kind of like a shamanic state of being. But what happens, and the whole reason why they wear bear skins or wolf skins when they go out to battle, is as a symbol to their own side, that when they're in that shamanic state, when they're in that energy, that they will hurt you too if you get in the way, because they can't distinguish friend from foe when they're in that shamanic state. And basically, in a nutshell, when I did this reading and it showed me this 10 of Wands and this bear paw, there was so much emotional energy that came through. Like it was like, and at the time it was masculine energy, and that's what the reading was for masculine energies. It was specifically masculine energies that were feeling very emotional, very heavy, very upset. And it was implying that they had quote unquote werewolfed on someone, or kind of went into that berserker energy, and that they felt really terrible about it. And it was just kind of one of those things where it was a very rare moment where I had a super emotional reading. this card, or in general, out of all of my decks, the Ten of Wands has been around a lot, like a lot lately, like for 2 months freaking solid. And it's like there's a group of people that I keep reading for that just is having a really heavy past few months, got a lot of responsibility and burden on their back, really carrying a heavy load. And it's also implying that they're not releasing any of this energy, and it's either because they can't, because y'all are still carrying this weight to the top of this mountain, or it's like you refuse to let the weight and the burden of it go. And there's kind of a message coming through about like self-forgiveness for you guys, self-forgiveness. And seeing how we started out with the sacral chakra right here, and I was saying how there's like a feminine energy in here, it kind of feels like a mom. That's what I mean. The ancestor energy that's coming through this room is like, it wants to let you know, like, it's not super heavy energy in here, so it's just something that it's like you just haven't officially, I said, forgiven yourself for. Like, you haven't forgiven yourself for something, and it has to do with the relationship, I feel like, because that's what we're focusing on here with the sacral chakra and this dove and this sexuality, the reproductive energy center. It has to do with your relationships of all kinds, not just romantic or sexual. You were born out of that space. It can do with your ancestors and your parents and all kinds of stuff. So whatever this message feels like it's resonating for you, like this is the energy that's been around for a while. This is the energy that I've been reading a while, especially coming out of this kind of pile or this certain deck that I seem to kind of touch on. And man, this Ten of Wands has been coming out. Like, it just said, baby, like, put it down. It just said, like, put it down. Whatever the heaviness is that you've been carrying around, like, put it down. And I just heard the question, like, how do I put it down? And that's where it's like your ancestors are coming through to say, you need to forgive yourself. Yeah. There's a double message coming through on this. The Knight of Arrows in reverse. It's a Knight of Swords in reverse. It's simultaneously saying, like, I can't see the way. Like, I can't see through this to cut through this. I don't know. And because you can't see the way, you don't know how to, like, speak about it, or you just don't know, like you just don't know. Like, you just don't know. And because of that, there's also this energy, though. A Knight of Swords can be very vicious. Think about the talons of a hawk and how sharp they are, right? It's like, there's also that energy here where it's like, okay, it just said, like, you're both afraid of coming on too sharp, but you're also, it's like you can't see the way and you don't know how to do this stuff. It's just inner conflicted energy. It's like you're afraid of yourself. Like, you're afraid of how sharp you can be sometimes. You're afraid of how cutting you can be sometimes. It said flighty. Yeah. Like, not the best communicator, right? A Knight of Swords in reverse is mean person. I'm not like, not so mean that it's like they can't be forgiven. It's just they got away with words that ain't so awesome when you're on the other end, right? And maybe that's part of, like, it's like there's something here about some words for sure. I want you to notice how this little bitty wren came out underneath the dove, and that's where this could very much be. Okay, it's saying that this is very much like a child energy, very sweet energy. There's a sweet little child energy. Sorry, I'm getting stuff. For some people, this is a child. For some people, this is just, it feels feminine. This is like that sweet little soft energy. That's, okay, thank you, Spirit. That's the way to describe it. The sweet little soft energy. Doesn't have to be a feminine. Doesn't have to be anything particular, a child or whatever. Sweet, soft little energy that's coming in. And it just said, like, it can hear you. Like, it can hear you. Dealing with all this, it can hear you. It's this card can sometimes imply that someone is like spying on you. In the upright, it's not very much spying so much as it is like a little bit of intuition, like a little bird told me, right? When it's in reverse and it's like, hey, a little bird told me. But this is like, this is the sweet, cute little tiny bird that's like, can just totally feel this stuff, can totally sense it. It's also implying that kind of like your thoughts therefore communicate with this little bird, and this little bird is a messenger. And this little bird, first and foremost, this is a page of arrows, is a messenger to you and also a messenger to others. So that's where the whole spying thing comes on. It's like there's a little bird, a little spirit bird that hears your burdens and hears your worries and hears your kind of miscommunications and thoughts, and it knows what you're thinking and what you're truly feeling and what you're truly saying. And it's like it just pointed out this pyramid to me. It's like, woo, like it was saying like, this is your direct line. Like there's a little direct line to spirit that knows what you truly mean and knows what you truly say and knows how you truly feel and knows how you might be dealing with a lot of this heavy energy, and it's paying attention. It hears you, it feels you, it sees you. It just said all the time, all the time. There's like a vibration and a pulse like up in my wrist right here. It's like, like a slight inner trembling. That's what I'm saying. Like it's like it knows that there's some stuff going around in there. I just said it knows you feel alone. It knows you feel isolated. It knows that you're also doing very well and pushing forward the best that you can, because like you're not so far gone that you're not secure or safe, right? You've got a cave, you got a fire, you got shelter. So you're doing okay. It's just not the best time right now, in the sense of you're still enduring. And that's what this card is endurance. It's just kind of sitting around and making the best of what is there, right? And that's why I feel like this messenger, you see where I was saying like there's a soft little energy that's listening? Like this is also that soft little energy. It's like this figure is listening to this person have to struggle and do this. And it's like this is the task they have to complete before they could ever come see this person, right? So there's kind of like this whole messenger system here. And that's where I feel like this is coming in. It's like, it just said, like, you don't have to be so serious. Like, you don't have to be so cutting and mean. Like, try and imitate more of this energy where it's just friendly and sweet and kind and just little gestures. It listens. That's the most important word that's coming through, too, is like it listens, right? It's observing. It's like a student energy. It pays attention. It's the messenger. Going back and forth. What's this last one? 3 of Arrows. Jealousy. Coming up after this card, it just said like this is part of the reason why you've been kind of isolated too. It's like you've been working on this 3 of Arrows. In this particular deck, it's not so much of just a sad energy as it is a very fiery card, right? It gets very fire energy. My right foot just twitched. Like just like jealousy, rage, anger. It was kind of implying like you put the arrows in here, which is okay. That's where it's saying to, yeah, it just gave me a little clip. Something. Yeah, it just showed me like someone shooting holes and stuff, and that's what I mean. It's like taking your aggression out, taking your anger out, taking the jealousy out, kind of like target practice, like literally like finding some other way to let out the fire energy. It's like you're simultaneously tending a fire while you're kind of sitting around figuring things out, and in the it said like tending the good fire and letting the bad fire out in some other productive way. And that's why Spirit kind of has you in this space because you're trying to cleanse out this more like fire when you're just trying, you need to tend the flame, but don't fan the flames, right? Tend the flame, don't fan the flames. And that's kind of part of what's coming through for you. With some clarification, kind of on this over here, kind of on this over here. The Ace of Swords, kind of sort of an Excalibur vibe, but it is mostly just saying like there is some underlying truth here. And something I kind of mentioned over here, both, it's kind of implying that there's both some truth in what I have said to you, but it's more importantly saying like you already know what this kind of underlying truth is for yourself. So it's not so much about my words as it's like this is part of why you are still carrying this energy, because you already know what the underlying truth of this whole thing is. Which is love. And even though this card does not really come through with the whole love vibe, it's more of like just the knowing, like that's the label you use, that's the word you use for the feeling or whatever, like there and it wants to also say it's not just about like romantic love. That's what I mean. The sacral chakra is about all kinds of relationships. So for some of you guys it's romantic, for some of you this is more like a divine love, like just a truth, love of spirit kind of deal. Just some kind of really super divine truth underlying all of this that is like, it gives you the crown, it gives you the sword. It's like spirit presenting you Excalibur out of the sky. There's some kind of magical truth underneath all of this weight, and that is why the hell you were carrying this burden up to for so long to the top of the hill. That's not really a surprising card over here either. The moon on top of the 5 stones and the 3 of arrows, that 3 of swords. This is just all about your fear. Not knowing, not being able to fully see the path because it's in the dark. Not being able to... It is super divine feminine energy, right? Though, because feminines are always the moon. So this is that divine feminine energy kind of sitting here with you to help you heal this. Thank you, Spirit. It just said like that's the whole thing. Your feelings, your emotions, your intuition, all this watery blue feminine energy. That's what helps drown out all this angry, all the angry fire for sure. It just implied that you are surrounded by divine feminine energy, like the night sky itself is like the divine feminine. Wow, it's just like, it just wanted me to like, just like in a way, like hold you, like blanket you in the night sky and just like, and like that's what I mean. I can't even explain it. It's like, it just wants to literally envelop you and hold you in just like the beautiful sacred darkness of divine feminine energy. And just let you know that it's like, it keeps, wow, Spirit, file 2. It's like you are swimming in an ocean of stars. Like you are just a child of the universe. Like it just wants to literally hold you in all of that cosmic beauty and let you know that you are safe and protected. And that part of that energy is what helps like drown this out. So it's like, you've got to fall into the emotions. You've got to fall into the feelings. You got to fall into that divine feminine energy. And just let your inner know. It wants to kind of like rock like the sea. It wants to rock like a mom rocks a baby. Like it's just this lovely energy over here at the end. That's what I'm saying. Spirit is telling you right now. The whole reason why you're here is because you are healing through your divine feminine energy. This is also a card for like Pisces energy. There's a little bit of Scorpio energy in here too, with it being the moon. There's like all kinds of really nice emotional signs that come through with that card, and also just general feminine energy, like whew. So in order to kind of heal this sacral chakra, it's like you do need to put the heavy stuff down. You do need to forgive yourself for some past things. You are continuing to carry this burden up the hill because you know there's some kind of divine truth. Part of that truth is maybe you weren't so nice with your words. Maybe you were cutting. Maybe you were flighty. Maybe you doubted. Maybe you couldn't see the way, and so you therefore just, you can't cut through everything like a typical Knight of Swords can. You're just like, there's some stuff there. But you know some clarity and truth lies underneath all of this. The Spirit is watching you and paying attention to you. You can hear just at everything you say, can hear all kinds of stuff. It just gave me another song. It gave me Katie Tunstall, The Universe and You. That's such a beautiful song. And that's all it is. It's like I can hear everything you say, even when you're miles away. I am me, the universe, and you. And that's what this little bird represents. The universe is here. It's got you. It's got you. It's just got you. It's here to help you put some of these flames out and put some of this weight down. So you just really need to lean into that divine feminine energy because it is just ready to rock you and be very peaceful. And that's what your ancestors have for you and your spirit guides. So pile 2, I'm wishing you lots of love. And just stay tuned. I got more readings coming up soon. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you. Hello, pile 3. Hope you guys are doing wonderful. If you chose this pile, you either chose it for the number 3 or you chose it for this lovely citrine crystal that we brought in here. Great for the solar plexus chakra. Feeling good, feeling confident. It did just tap that, oh, my mind just went blank. Carnelian. Just tap that carnelian a little bit. So there is a little bit of that coming in here. Let's start with your animal oracle. We have the leopard, which represents stealth, strength, and purity. Ooh, for the first time, it really brought me to all these eyes over here and this more human face. So stealth, strength, and purity. Leopards are phenomenal hunters, known for their stealth and ability to stalk prey. The snow leopard, which lives in the mountains of Central Asia, is among the more mysterious of the species and was believed to have drawn the blood of its human victims without eating the flesh. By feeding on the life force, blood, and avoiding weakness, flesh, the leopard was thought to maintain its strength and purity. So this is all about pulling straight from spirit, not getting sucked into the ego, which is definitely represented by a citrine crystal. And the ego is our protective shell that helps us interact and process things as they come in from the real world. And we can get very tied up with materialism and things like that here. So it's just kind of saying like, focus on spirit as in the true life force of things instead of just the material surface of things, right? So let's see what your ancestors got to say. What's your message coming through? Reflect. This is the mirror. This is the mirror. Also usually the hangman card in a traditional tarot, but this is the mirror. Very much that spirit has you in a place where you are required to stay here until your healing is complete. So your healing is all about reflection. And the first thing it wanted to show me was this gold of the back of the mirror. So there's some reflection on like wealth and value and materialism. I'm feeling for sure kind of coming through. That was okay. Moving a little quick for you. I just said it's coming to you. This is like, okay, and that's where I was saying about spirit. So now we're in the cup suit over here, and you see all this water that represents emotions, that also represents spirit and like spiritual fulfillment in the sense of, you think of my cup runneth over, right? And so that's what I mean. It was saying like it's coming to you, but I think you are dealing with some wealth stuff here, even though we haven't pulled a pentacle or a stone card yet. It's like, it just really drew me to the gold of the back of this mirror. My left eye is suddenly hurting now when I'm looking at this. That's what I mean. It's like you're looking at things from the wrong perspective. You're reflecting in the wrong way. You need to be, you're looking for something that in the end doesn't really matter. Kind of the whole deal of like, you can't take your possessions with you when we move on, that type of deal. And that's also where part of this offer is coming to you. It's like you were trying to find satisfaction in those things and it wasn't working, and you know it's not working, and that's why you're also here, because it's like, yeah, this isn't quite what I thought it was going to be. There's something not quite panning out the way I wanted it to, or you're just kind of recognizing some of your values aren't in line with what you originally wanted. And in doing all of this healing, you're attracting the very things that will emotionally satisfy you. There's going to be an offer of some sort that comes in that I think feels a lot better for you. It just said, like, don't get all wrapped up in your head. With this with this Five of Cups upside down, this is a very different Five of Cups. In this deck, it's all about, there was just some clearing up through all of my chakras right there, so you do have some energy moving. This is about like being naturally high on spirit, like just hanging out with some rattles and some candlelight and like getting down with the stars and being high on spirit and dancing around all tribal like, right? That's the vibe. When it's upside down like this, it very much implies like partying behavior. This is usually a sad card, a Five of Cups, but not in this deck. So in reverse, in this particular deck, this is like obsessively drinking, or it's just said obsessively, so there's that. Excessively drinking, obsessively or addictively taking substances. It just feels like there's some kind of awakening coming to you, and it doesn't feel like a full-on spiritual awakening. It's like you're just waking up to some bad habits of yours. It also feels like, though, so for some of you guys, I feel like this offer is going to be good, but for some of you guys, it's like going to shed light on this habit of yours, right? Like someone's going to come in and be like, hey, I've noticed you not taking care of yourself as much. Hey, I've noticed you kind of doing these behaviors that aren't really you, or don't seem in line with higher values and things, right? So that's what this situation kind of feels like someone kind of stepping in to be sweet and be nice and say, hey, I'm noticing this. I don't think it's so awesome for you. Maybe let's talk about it, or something like that, right? Yes, and then you have the Hooded Man, where it's like choosing to retreat. Now this is interesting because kind of opposite of the Mirror, where spirit has you stuck somewhere so that you can reflect and be healed. This is like, you know what, you guys, I'm gonna take a retreat. I need to reflect on some things for myself, and you take yourself on a little retreat. It's also just talking about you knowing that all the answers to heal yourself are within yourself. So you go within yourself, within this tree, and you go search out the answers for yourself. So there's some really good energy in here, and this is the advice coming from your ancestors. It's like you are simultaneously being made to be here, but as some things get revealed to you, it's going to transform until you kind of choose to go within and be here, because you're going to make the decision to sort yourself out. Let's get some clarifiers. Yeah, juggling a few things. Again, with this water back here, it's like you're emotionally kind of like trying to stabilize yourself. Now here's some Pentacles. So this is the real world. It's like you're trying to balance some things in the real world. Maybe your emotions, meanwhile, are back here just like woo, all over the place, which is why you might also be kind of going into these behaviors. You're just trying to kind of cope and deal with some emotional stuff going on while also balancing the real world. Something just grabbed my right foot, so that's a little bit of a confirmation. That's what I mean. It's like you just said, like, you're feeling a little out of whack. Like you're just kind of like all over the place. And that's why some of this comes up, because it can feel like the only thing that makes you feel good, which is satisfying the ego. And that's where the ego's like, yes, feed me. Yes, I want to party. Yes, I want to drink. Yes, I want to eat whatever I want. Yes, I want to take, I want to do what I want to do. just for the moment, just for now, just to make myself feel better right now. And that's where we make bad decisions, because we know in the long run there's better things for us. Don't eat the flesh, only live off the blood, which is the life force. Don't live off of the superficial materialistic things that are not that healthy for you. Focus on what's actually nurturing you, what can actually help you balance these situations in real life. Maybe taking a retreat and taking some time off for yourself so that you can focus through some things, right? Yes. Pure Virgo energy coming out at the end of this pile. The 9, which is a Virgo card, the Hooded Man, and a 9 of Pentacles, which is a Virgo card. This is confirmation of like possibly being single for some of you. But again, look at this independent, solitary figure. That's what I mean. It's like... And comparing it to this figure, especially in reverse, it's like this person's out here just losing their mind, dancing the night away, probably high as hell on something, or like that's just the implication that's really coming through with this pile. It's like there are habits and things that are just, they might be fun for a little while, but they just really ain't serving you that well, you know? And you want to flip this energy to where you go within and you manifest this figure instead. Look at her. She's got 9 pentacles. She's got a vineyard. She's got a bird. She's doing very well. And she's very, very stable. Look at these pentacles coming out here as your clarifiers. It's like you're trying to actually make a balanced, stable life. But there's some things that your ancestors are watching you kind of go through. And they're like, hey, you need to consider these things. Hey, you might need to take some time out for yourself. Be alone for a while, just so you can ground yourself and stabilize your energy. Maybe you need to step away from some environments or people that aren't serving you well, and take a step back and really, really pause and think, what's going to help you balance out all the energies that you're kind of reflecting on and juggling, because it sure ain't going to be this, right? 9-9, this is your power number right here, that 9-9. And look at this beautiful yellow coming through. You had that citrine. It can be the color of ego and definitely gold and materialism, but this is more of that spiritually grown gold. This is like she's been, it just said like maintaining her values and her morals and her boundaries, and just overall taking care of herself and her wealth and everything she's got. Just been taking care of it slowly but steadily for a long time until it has grown into this. And this is that spirit gold, right? That's what we want. Spiritual gold. Alrighty, that's what I got for you, pile 3. That's your messages coming through, so let me know how it resonates, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you. Hello, last but not least, pile 4. How are you guys doing? Hope you're doing wonderful. You probably chose it for the number 4, or you chose it for this really awesome onyx stone. And when I bought this onyx stone and I looked up the meaning of onyx, it was talking about how this stone will help you both, or how it will help you connect your emotional heart space to the clear communication of the mind space, therefore making it easier for you to like really communicate the core truth and point of your emotions, and say it in a way that's both factual but resonates and makes sense on both levels. So how interesting that you've chosen that. Let's start with your animal card, which you guys got the animal deities, which features this little pan figure as well, and lots of different animals. So you've got a nice little group. You've got lots of spirit animals kind of coming around, lots of ancestors. This is a symbol of divinity, guidance, and wisdom. To many people around the globe, animals represent the first beings, the ancient ones, the all-knowing deities responsible for the creation of all things, and the source of strength and guidance in times of trouble or need. In this painting titled Council of Animals, a pantheon of animal spirits revolves around a boy playing the flute. The flute, also known as a shepherd's pipe, is one of the most ancient of instruments used by early peoples to invoke the powers of the animal spirits. In India, the god Krishna charmed the animal spirits by playing a shepherd's pipe. In the early Greeks believed that Pan, the woodland god of the flocks, fertility, and nature, was the inventor of the pipe, which he played for the dances of the nymphs. Just a very beautiful card. So I like how it's like a council of animals. It's like you've got a council of ancestors kind of stepping in for you. However, I want to say You have a short amount of cards, and that's where I feel like, right, the message I was saying about it being very direct is kind of coming through. It's like your messenger, I just said your messengers, your ancestors have a direct message for you. Let's see what we got. Look at that divine feminine energy coming in. It wants to point out all the little, she's got skulls, she's got feathers, she's got animal prints on her clothes. It just said Eve energy. It's like goddess of the animals, lady of beasts, like all of that type of stuff. She's got super intuition. That's why her eyes are closed. She's a seer. She is listening to the voice of spirit. She's kind of divining here in this water bowl. And most importantly, she's feeling for those vibrations coming through, and she's trying to really connect with the earth. For the first time, it really pointed out her staff to me, and it was kind of saying how, like, that's what she leans on for support when she's in these shamanic states where she's listening. It's like, okay, implying like the need for a strong backbone type deal, or right, like a staff, something to help carry your energy in very strong, and it's saying specifically like a masculine way, because staffs are phallic, masculine. So that's where it's saying, like, as much as there's this divine feminine energy coming through, it's like she needs a little bit of this masculine energy to help support her. But it's saying a little as in like just recognizing that it's useful and valuable and can serve a purpose. So it's kind of like whoever might be listening to this pile is kind of, I'm getting a little bit of that feminist vibe in the sense of just, right, like, don't need a man. I'm a divine feminine. I got it going on. I'm all powerful. I'm a goddess. And Spirit's like, yes, you are, honey. But also, there are times where having something to lean on, such as the staff, such as a masculine energy, someone else who also has a lot of strength, can help support you, right? So there's that message coming in. My goodness gracious, pile 4. Look at him there, though, right? Look, there he is. There's the shaman, the divine masculine. So this is the high priestess and the magician, the seer and the shaman coming up side by side. They are both at work. They are both manifesting. They are both divining. They are both working on this together. And that's what I mean. It was saying, like, whoever this was for at first, it's like you need that masculine energy sometimes to help you do things, you know, disassociate physical bodies from this. When we talk about feminine energy, it's about receiving and divining and intuition and listening and like reading the signs type deal and waiting for the messages. That is not, y'all, my left foot just got hot on that. I'm telling you, there's some major energy in here right now. And the shaman is that masculine energy. It's more about making its way. He'll whip up a spell with some herbs and some bones and some sticks and be like, done, and like manifest whatever he wants right then. He will travel to the spirit world and gain the knowledge he needs to come back to the real world and manifest these things. He's also got some feminine symbols like this swirl right here, or he's got the vessel as well. So that's the thing. He also needs feminine energy in order to do some of his work too. And this is very much talking about just the whole in tandem of how these two things, these two energies work together to co-create. It said in battle this energy, which that's where it's like, okay, it just brought up kind of like an unseen foe, because this is the green woman. She's standing on a rock. She's being shot at by all these arrows. You can't shoot yourself with arrows. As much as this implies that you are in your own mind space beating yourself up with insecurities, it's also implying that other outside energy, it just said like spiritual warfare, and that's what I mean. It's like, okay, woo, pile 4. This Onyx for sure coming through for you guys. Okay, this little story right here just took a major collective, like, This is Mother Gaia. This is Mother Earth. This is the full-on divine feminine energy, Mother Earth, being destroyed by, you name it, pick it out here. Politics, social injustices, climate change, what have you. All of that stuff is really terrible for our planet. And light workers, you might be a light worker, or starseeds especially, people who are more involved here with the spirit work, heavy spirit work, or have been waking up, and they know that they are called to divinely protect and serve Mother Earth. And that's the whole thing, protect her from all of this harmful energy that's coming out. And that's where both of these energies have been doing it independently before. And they both have to recognize that they both need each other energy to make it work. It kind of wants me to do this now, and that's what I mean. It's like there's one guardian on this side, one guardian on this side, and together those energies protect Mother Earth. But when I just moved these cards, that's where it's implying, right? It's almost like there's been this feeling of like separation, as in things can't quite manifest for each other, but that's because they're not using the other energy to help them manifest. They've been just kind of like letting all of this divide them, right? So that's why Spirit does want it like this, because together they can face this together. When they put this in the middle, they divide themselves. And again, if this is just, let's bring it down to an individual level. We were talking about Mother Gaia and Mother Earth. Now let's bring it down to an individual level. If you've got insecurities inside that are keeping you from being together with the opposite energy, whether it's a person or just the two halves of yourself, your feminine, your masculine within merging, there's the divide right there. So you got to get these two together, right? And then face this together. It just said the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or kind of, right? Like that whole deal. It's like somebody ain't talking between these two energies. Somebody's not talking, somebody's not nice, but y'all got to realize that there's some energies that have to like mesh out, and you got to face this together, not put it in the middle. There's some throat healing for you guys. Scratchy throats. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. There's distance between y'all. Things flaring up and dying back. That's what this Knight of Wands kind of represents. It also implies, though, that this masculine energy kind of riding in over here. Look at that. Look at that. For the first time, it's really, really pointing out the wand, and then it kind of showed her staff. So it's like the masculine's coming to bring her a staff to lean on. It's giving me the song, we all need somebody to lean on. Everybody's leaning on their staff here. So it's like the masculine's like, oh, hey, by the way, let me help you out. Let me give you a staff to lean on. It just implied that for some of you guys, this is like literally you're trying to manifest new employees. Like you own a business, you need a staff to lean on. And so for some of you guys, it's implying that the masculine is sending you a staff to lean on. Take that how that resonates. But yeah, this kind of feels like this is just going to ride in, give you a new, it just said give you a new weapon, give you a new choice weapon, but it's not necessarily a weapon too. It's a healing tool. It's your staff. It supports you, and it's going to drop it off and give it to you. Okay? And that's kind of bridging the distance, bridging the gap, where this energy needs to come back around and just team up, right? Yeah, because look, there's the World card. What did I say about Mother Gaia? The world, yes, because there is a cycle to complete. There is beautiful completion in this energy coming together, and it just said, and together they can save the world. It just gave me the whole end of Avatar when she's like, but I believe he can save the world. It's like that was the voice, but it was like, and I believe together they can save the world. Like that was totally what just came through for you, Pile 4. And that's in a nutshell. So there is some distance and separation. Masculine energy showing up to give the feminine a staff. She needs to not sit in here with her. She needs to stop sitting here with her eyes closed and realize that they both need each other. Because if you allow the insecurities to keep this distance and separation between you, then y'all can't work together to manifest things. What are you trying to manifest? You are here for the world. You feel like a light worker. You are here to save the world. You're here to save Mother Gaia and protect her from all the spiritual warfare and darkness that's been going on. And woo, that's it in a nutshell, buddy. That's it in a nutshell. So that's what I got for you, Pile 4. And let me know how that resonates. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.